I was a little worried there because when I started recording, like the desktop, everything started going funny for a minute, and it came back, but clearly something was going wrong. Yeah, I mean, my laptop is 13 years old now.
Oh shit! Yeah, it's like
geriatric.
old in cat years.
Exactly. She was top of the line back in the day, but...
No, and not so much anymore. Yeah, it happens. Mine was already... It was starting to make a load of, like, loud noises and stuff, just like, you know, the fan humming away and shit. And then I turned it off for a bit, and it got a bit better. And I was like, oh yeah, I don't think I'd actually, like, turned it off for, like, weeks. So, I just got to remember to occasionally give the computer a little rest from its operations, and hopefully it will stay pretty functional for a bit.
We all need a little sleep sometimes, don't we?
Yeah, oh, tell me about it, man. Seriously.
So anyways, you were saying depression, death stalks the land.
I was thinking, yes, that is what I was saying. I was saying death is stalking the land. It was a consequential note to have soured by technological issues, the perennial technological issues enjoyed by our program. But between basically David Lynch dying, somebody I went to school with, which I won't get into anymore just to protect, you know, the people involved or whatever. Sorry, I'm pissed off by saying or whatever. Like, I meant the thing that I said, so I don't know why I added that.
I got your sincerity totally. Yeah, you know, it's private business.
Yeah, I just don't know how much anyone would appreciate me getting into that. But I doubt anyone adjacent to it would listen to this or anything. But yeah, between that and between David Lynch, an artist I totally revere, somebody I know and went to school with, which obviously means they were very young to go, and now today Corbyn's cat, which sorry, I just love cats. They're nice. They're furry. I think they're cute. Just looking at them.
Yeah, you're not just a dog person, are you? I sometimes think of you as that, but yeah, you got a cat as well, all right?
No, I haven't got a cat.
Have you had cats though in the past?
No, I've never had a cat myself, but
you just like cats too. All right.
Say hello to them when I see them, and stroke their soft fur, and
very fair.
And being a nice man, Jeremy Corbyn obviously loved his cat very much, and I respect Jeremy Corbyn very much. So I'm sad for him. And I'm sad that a cute cat, El Gato, has departed this earthly plane. So, yeah, it just feels like a triple whammy of grief for me. And it's like that week where we did the episode that I called the obituary section, where Henry Kissinger and Alistair Darling and Shane McGowan all died in a very, very short space of time. Except in that case, I was actively happy about two of the deaths, and this time I'm sad about all of them.
Yeah. Well, we are officially condemning Keir Starmer for not declaring a national day of mourning for Corbyn's cat.
Oh yeah, fuck him, fuck that cunt. He should resign. I'm calling for the resignation of Sir Keir Starmer. David, I don't want to say too much about David Lynch just because on Wednesday we're going to record a special David Lynch in memoriam episode with Lila, who's been on my show a couple of times before.
Excellent, yeah.
A huge Lynch head. So, of course, yeah, this is the first I'm telling you about it, but you're welcome to participate in that if you'd like.
That's not fair. You did text me about it earlier today.
Oh, did I? Well, I don't remember shit, man.
Yeah, you briefly mentioned it. You said we could have a few words about Lynch, but we would save it for later, yeah.
I did actually mention this to you, but I don't think I gave you a date or guess or mention the guest. But yeah, no, you're right. I did fill you in slightly more than I suggested there. I don't keep my comrades completely in the dark about everything. I just do it strategically sometimes for comic effect.
You're a wild card, you know? Sometimes you zig, sometimes you zag.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
no, sad news, definitely. I mean, luckily I haven't had any other big deaths in my vicinity, so I haven't really been dwelling too much on David Lynch directly, but no, he was an amazing filmmaker, and he will be missed. His work will be missed. What he stood for in like Hollywood and the old way of making movies that actually meant something, you know.
Yeah,
that's
totally.
It's very sad, very tragic.
Yeah, very sad and tragic, exactly.
Don't mean to sound too flippant there.
Sad. No, it's just that Donald Trump has inescapably claimed those two words that are probably among the most used words in the English language.
Along with words like huge, we did the best things, you know, there's like lots of words. YMCA, it's not gay.
He's good. He's good, isn't he? He's not gay at all. He is good and not gay. We are actually talking on the day that Joe Biden has now ceased to be the president and Donald Trump has become the president again.
Indeed. I've not actually been watching the live coverage, so I don't know what exact time the inauguration was meant to be happening. I don't know if it's technically happened or not yet, but
I think it's happened.
Definitely
he was
today.
on stage earlier anyway. Yeah, my mum was watching a bit of it.
Yes, yeah. So
all I heard was just something about he's going to stop the weaponization of the justice system. But I don't know what that means. Just like
he's going to stop them prosecuting him.
Yeah, the prosecutions of him, or if it's like we're going to free all the January 6th legends, or what? I don't know.
I think it's going to be interesting and horrible for the most part. But definitely interesting what's going to happen with the... I mean, there was the 12-hour TikTok ban. The Democrats just giving Trump another W for no fucking reason.
Oh, yeah, so can people use TikTok again in the States now?
Yeah. Yeah, it went offline on Saturday night. And then Sunday morning, before the inauguration even happened or anything, because yesterday, it came back on with a message saying that Donald Trump had promised Apple and Google that he won't enforce the giant fines against them, so they're going to keep the app up.
Nice, yeah, Trump has... That really fell right into his hands, you know, like... Fucking... Reagan with the Iranian hostages, or whatever, the Iranian... They weren't Iranian, the hostages, but the hostage crisis, you know what I mean. I've already explained why I'm low energy today, but yeah,
for sure,
that's fallen right into his lap, hasn't it?
It'll be interesting to see what happens there. Will they still force a sale down the line? Because it's like only a 90-day extension, and there's all the tech bros in his cabinet, but then I don't know.
Whatever.
Fucking tech fascism.
Yeah, there's this clip of Starmer saying like "tech bro brother" something, and you know, one of the more annoying clips of his voice out of all clips of his voice ever recorded. Yeah,
on the grimmer side though. Oh, sorry, did you have another thought about that though?
Not really on the fucking tech bro brother thing, but more consequentially
about TikTok or anything.
No, I don't really give a shit, but like more consequentially, like a huge win for Trump is that he's coming into power on the fucking day, well, like a day after the ceasefire came into effect in Gaza.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you were going to bring that up or if you wanted to stay
I was going to actually go on to deportations after that, but that is also something I wanted to talk about for sure. Yeah, the ceasefire. And the ceasefire, which it sounds like Israel is already like planning to violate as soon as phase 1 ends, right?
Yeah, and they've been like still shooting a bunch of Palestinians. They're just not bombing them anymore. Just like
we
they
finished
shot a
nuking your
15-year-old.
entire ghetto.
Yeah, he just murdered a fucking 15-year-old earlier.
And of course, any sign of celebration is a support of terrorism. For they're not just happy that they got their family back or anything in Palestine. You know.
Yeah. Did you see that Israeli hostages some of the hostages who Hamas have returned to Israel, like now, they were reported by, I think, the Jerusalem Post or Haaretz. Like, it was like, no need of immediate medical attention. It's like, hang on, I thought that they had just been undergoing like a non-stop cavalcade of rape and torture at the hands of the Hamas devils. But so surely they would need much medical attention.
And the news had been reporting that they were going to be releasing the most like sick and injured first. So,
oh, okay, yeah. These ones, it's
cool.
just long-term conditions. They were like that anyway. But also, yeah, like a load of Palestinian political prisoners who probably have been undergoing a non-stop cavalcade of rape and torture for years in Israeli prisons have been released. I'm sure Israel will find some way of like assassinating them shortly, but yeah, I don't want to be too flippant about that. That's
I mean, it's a time for let's celebrate the good, a little bit less death and destruction for the time being, and see what happens.
Yeah, I was aware earlier when I was saying death is stalking the land. I mean, it really has. Like, Gaza has been hell on earth for more than a year. It really has been stalking the land over there, and it is slightly solipsistic to say that because of an artist I revered and somebody I knew personally and a cat who I knew secondhand through him belonging to a political leader I respect have died. That's not quite the scale of apocalyptic death and destruction that the people of Palestine have been enduring, not to take anything away from those bereavements, which have, as I said, hit me as hard as any.
Yeah, for sure. I know. Palestine, I mean, no sign of the war in Ukraine ending anytime soon. Just gonna let them keep slaughtering each other.
No, it's actively, Starmer was over there the other day just like funneling a bunch more fucking money to them to prosecute this eternal war, and he's stopped by Auschwitz as well to stand up to the evil anti-Semitism of Keir Starmer's personal ratings slipping. Like, I think FFF did a tweet about that in the inimitable FFF style. No, sorry, it was Tarnished Bane. It was Bane, another former guest on the show, who was just like, Keir Starmer... Used
to be known as Woke Bane.
Yes, exactly. Formerly woke, now Tarnished Bane. Posted something like, Keir Starmer seeing himself universally hated in the UK. There's so much anti-Semitism in the world. It was something like that, and then he did this photo. He did this photo op at Auschwitz where he obviously, dragged his Jewish wife out to give him credibility. It's like, I assume she played some part in the fucking negotiations ongoing that he was in Poland for regarding the war in Ukraine. But I could go on.
Yeah. Climate apocalypse continues. The wildfires in California just happened.
Literally killed David Lynch. Like, thanks global warming.
70 years of smoking, nah.
When you add the fucking smoke from fires of that scale onto the 70 years, that's when shit gets dangerous. Like, Harry Dean Stanton smoked for like 90 years, and he was fine because Los Angeles didn't fucking just turn into an enormous bonfire while he was living. I'm pretty sure Harry Dean Stanton died when he was like 90, which would mean he started smoking. I think he was like 91, so he started smoking at age 1, according to my history of the world. But David Lynch literally did start smoking at age 8.
Right.
And gave up at 76. So that's, almost 7 uninterrupted decades of chain smoking.
He spent quite a bit of time here in Missoula, apparently.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, it was kind of considered somewhat of a local. I don't think he was like born here, but he spent significant parts of his youth here or something like that. And you can kind of see it's very Twin Peaksy out this way,
I was going to say that, it's, the heart of Middle America. but like
middle, very far west America.
yeah. You know, I feel like Middle America is more of a spiritual thing. You know, it's not literally about it being in the middle of the country. I mean, maybe it is, but not in my understanding.
As someone who was born in Missouri, I take offense to that. I am Middle America.
I'm Middle America. I'm so in the middle that I'm literally not even in America. I'm such an impartial, non-ideological American that I'm not even from America.
You're American at heart.
Yeah, I'm centrism. I'm the third way. I am neoliberal. This is turning into like Lynchian kind of dialogue. Lynchian centrism, which I guess is what we did with the Tim Farron play and Gapecast.
He's been a pretty big influence on the show, really.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But yeah, we'll come back to David Lynch because, like, what can you even say? Such an artist of such magnitude that it's hard to state in shorthand. But what were we saying politically? James.
We were talking about the end of the world, and
speaking of Hollywood figures affected by the Great Big Fire, James Woods' house burned down. That was pretty funny because he's been pissing on Palestinians like for the last fucking year and a bit. He's just been saying, you know, they started this war, they deserve to have their homes destroyed in a fucking blaze of hellfire. And it's like, well, now the shoe's on the other foot, isn't it, Mr. Woods? Shithead.
The only sad thing is that all the rich people who lost their Malibu homes have second and third and fourth homes to go to. So,
and they probably don't employ the same menial migrant workers there under the table, so they're putting people out of jobs by losing their homes. They've got a whole different set in the other in Telluride or wherever they fucking live the rest of the year. But it's got to have been a pretty shitty week for James Woods because he didn't get the call to be part of Donald Trump's crack team of envoys to Hollywood, which I believe consists of Sylvester Stallone, Mel Gibson, and John Voight.
All the most poppin' people, yeah.
Yeah, I know, it's so funny. Mel Gibson was like, oh, well, the announcement to the press was the first I ever heard of this, but I will gladly accept the call to serve. I don't even know what serving would mean in this context.
Just Trump keep doing the same thing Mel Gibson's been doing since Passion of the Christ.
Serving cunt. That's what Mel Gibson's serving cunt again. I do have to say, I kind of enjoy him as an actor post-disgrace. I think it's given him much more character in his screen performances. So I'm worried that, you know, this will take the focus off, you know, perhaps another great collaboration with S. Craig Zala. Or maybe Mel could be saying to Donald Trump, we need Soviet-style subsidy of the film industry so that great conservative artists like S. Craig Zala or like Clint Eastwood, who has been mistreated and taken for granted by David Zaslav's
cancelled
despotic Warner Brothers corporate leadership.
The woke got him.
Yeah, so woke or just... I mean, capitalism got him, because apparently, according to David Shithead Zaslav, a Clint Eastwood film is not a profitable enterprise. You know, it's just not a commercial. A Clint Eastwood film, for fuck's sake.
The guy who's still making movies into his 90s, yeah.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Everyone liked Juror Number 2. It got great reviews. It was great. It did well with its actual proper theatrical release that it got over here and in Europe, but no, not worthy of a fucking theatrical distribution according to Zaslav. So anyway, yes, so artists like Clint Eastwood, oppressed, marginalised artists such as Clint Eastwood, I think, should be subsidised by the state, showered with money to make
They can give us the MAGA battleship Potemkin.
Yeah. I mean, that would be so...
About January 6th, right?
Yeah. Yeah, that's the thing. It's like, I can joke about how, like, they should fund conservative artists who are actually good, like the two I mentioned, and who are the only two I can think of at this present moment. But it would just be like funding those films,
Daily
like
Wire.
the Daily Wire make, like that fucking one that was called like Lady Ballers or whatever, which was about, I assume about trans women doing sport. It would just be hundreds of trans sports comedies.
Oh my god, yeah.
Anti-trans specifically.
Yeah, all those people, the Matt Walshes, the Ben Shapiros, they're all like these failed Hollywood theater kids that are so pissed off that they never made it big because they fucking suck at that. They have got no imagination. People like Clint, people like Zaslav, like you say, you can see the passion they put in.
Zala, not David Zaslav, who is a soulless corporate fucking cunt. Zala is a true artist.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Zala's a true artist.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, they've got things to say that are not just like, what are the Republican talking points of this week?
Exactly. Like they might do all kinds of problematic shit, but it comes from this, like, it's not talking points thing, you know? It's like something they actually feel and believe, even if it's stupid and ignorant, whatever. But Ben Shapiro, you know, he gets his notes from the oil tycoons or whatever.
Has he written a film yet? Because, I mean, he's a rapper now. He could do anything, I think, Ben Shapiro.
Was he... I know he acted in that Lady Ballers. I'm sure he's done some writing for their movies. Yeah. It was not a big role. He was like a referee that was in a couple scenes or something.
Of course he fucking was. Can you imagine how, like, blank his line delivery would be? Like, you need to step back from a ball. I don't know what kind of stuff that a referee would say in a hockey match. I don't really.
Traveling.
Yeah. I assume that's accurate. I don't really follow sports, least of all the Canadian sport of hockey.
Lady Ballers was about basketball primarily.
Oh, was it?
They did. There was like a montage. There is a montage where they play a bunch of different sports to beat women at, because, you know, men are just better than women in every single sport, even if they don't train for any that specific sport. They're just naturally fucking insanity. So maybe you saw a clip from that. I don't know. It's mostly basketball, which I will have you know I am an expert in, thanks to learning about it in like 4th grade and never thinking about it since then.
It's just one of those things that stays with you. Yeah. You looking at this cast, you've got the fucking guy who directed it, Jeremy Boring, who I thought you were making fun of him when you said that was his. You mentioned him and said that was his name a while ago. He literally is the fucking top billed star as well as being in it.
Yeah.
Coach Rob Gibson. So I guess he doesn't play trans in the movie. You've got Matt Walsh, Ben Shapiro, Candace Owens, Jordan Peterson, and some other guys who I assume are big in like right-wing media who I've never heard of.
It's a veritable who's who.
Yeah, I'm
all
sure
the
that's
shittiest people
shit
you can think of.
So yeah, you've got Mel Gibson, Stallone, and Voight flying the flag for
Who's Voight
conservatives
again?
in Hollywood. John Voight is a legendary actor. He's in Midnight Cowboy as the titular male prostitute. He's been in a lot of stuff. He was recently in Francis Ford Coppola's Megalopolis and in the Reagan biopic that I obviously is on my radar because Bob Dylan did the song for the end credits, and because I like Bob Dylan, I'm a massive supporter of Ronald Reagan, of course. Also, John Voight is Angelina Jolie's father. And he is a die-hard conservative, a belligerent right-wing supporter of Trump. So it makes absolute sense that he would become special ambassador to Hollywood, according to his Wikipedia page. Assumed office today. John Voight assumed office on this
like it's
day.
A foreign country. Yeah. He's a dignitary.
Yeah. like Steven Seagal is to Russia. I don't know if Steven Seagal had that like cultural ambassador position to Russia the last time that Donald Trump was in. I wonder if like he's back in that role now, or if he just continued in that role under Biden and nobody noticed. Because presumably being Steven Seagal, he doesn't do anything, just sits in a chair and just staring blank.
I think he's continued being pretty Putin friendly, yeah.
Oh yeah, he's definitely not let up his support for Putin. That's a pretty key part of who he is these days. I'm just seeing if there's any... Oh, yeah, John Voight's in Heat, Runaway Train, just finding the films here I actually like. He's in the first Mission Impossible. Yeah, honestly, he's a pretty good actor, but at this point, he's, like, fairly washed. Apparently, he spends the Reagan biopic. He does a kind of framing device for the film where he's a narrator. He's this Russian officer telling his Russian subordinate, who it's heavily implied, I think, is Putin, all about the life of Ronald Reagan, like at the end of the Soviet Union. It's like, young Putin is like, oh, but sir, how did we come to be a capitalist country where everything great? And he's like, well, let me tell you about great man Ronald Reagan. So yes, so Voight is still working, is what I'm saying. He's still fit as a fiddle, and I'm sure he'll do a fantastic job as ambassador to Hollywood for Trump. To the nation of Hollywood, the independent, the communist republic of Hollywood.
Yeah. Well, so yeah, tomorrow they're saying the mass deportations could be starting.
Shit, man, that sucks.
Grim note.
Didn't Biden deport more people in the last year than Trump managed to in any year of his last presidency?
I wouldn't doubt it. He certainly was trying to prove he was tough on the border for the last couple years. And, championed a bunch of bills, normalized the idea that undocumented migrants are somehow a massive problem and not, like, the backbone of our economy.
Yeah, I'm just saying that as a criticism of Biden, really, because I think it's a bit of a hack line to be like, and Donald Trump said that he'd deport all these people, but he couldn't even successfully do the fucking race purge. It's like, that's like how Starmer attacks the Conservative Party. Starmer talks about the Conservative Party's open borders experiment. Literally his phrase.
That's insane.
Yeah, like Nigel Farage is the Prime Minister. What can you say?
Biden, definitely a bad man on immigration. Trump, they are already running into the issue that, like we've been saying, as well as just being completely evil, completely self-destructive to the American economy, it's also just insanely expensive to try to deport 20 million people immediately.
Yeah.
So
the economy is like a household budget. You've got to balance the books, and you can't do these big communist splurges on sending the fucking migrants back. You know what I mean?
Oh, there's infinite money for hatred, but there's just practicalities. Yeah. It's like with the warfare, like how America just doesn't have infinite ammunition to continually give to Ukraine. Similarly, we've only got, I believe, 20,000 20,000 cots? Yeah, it might be that low. At any rate, we've only got about 1/5 of the cots that they would estimate they need for the coming deportation procedures.
Oh.
So what do? And the options are don't do it or death camps. And let's hope the American people get pissed off quickly enough.
Well, they'll probably be like, I don't want that fucking death camp near me.
We'll get a bunch of NIMBYism about Auschwitz's.
Yeah, that's it. Like, some people will find it hard to live the zone of interest.
They'll build all of the death camps near the poor people.
Yeah. But literally, maybe some Trump supporters will start like having massive music festivals like a meter away from a death camp. Like, fuck you guys. I hear that's in vogue of late.
No, there's huge practicalities at risk. And the thing is, one of my favorite words that Hassan uses about Americans is that he calls them treatlerites, right?
Yeah,
we're a nation of treatlerites. The only thing we've got is treats. The TikToks of the world, for instance. You start taking away the treats, and the people suddenly start being like, well, my life fucking sucks in every other way. Why are you taking away these little fun things? And as soon as agricultural prices start going up and food is 10 times more expensive, if he does tariffs with Canada, like all our fuel prices, we're going to have that winter that all of Europe had with Russia, like it's if he actually does half the shit he's been saying he's going to do, and I believe him, I don't think there's a reason to doubt that he was going to, but if he does that shit, it's going to piss people off. So I just hope they get pissed off in the right direction. That's all I'll say on that.
Yeah, hopefully there's a limit to how many, what percentage of the US population enjoy the fucking jackbooted thugs marching through their streets to kick another door down and drag another family to certain deportation. I mean,
they don't think about this shit.
Yeah, I mean, US police are pretty heavily militarized, but, a lot of people fucking hate them. So when you pile on additional authoritarian to that, yeah,
that's it. So many people
it's only going to appeal to a certain quotient of fucking curtain twitchers.
Yeah. Only the really terminally online, because like even most Trump supporters, like when they talk about we gotta do mass deportations, get them illegals out, and they're thinking in their head about drug dealers, gangsters, bad people. They're wrong. They're fucking stupid, but that's what they're thinking about. As soon as they start seeing, why did my buddy Pedro and his whole family get their door kicked in? Why did my delivery driver or my bartender or my hairdresser, or why are all these people getting jackbooted away? I think they'll start being a bit like, well, hang on, this is some communist China shit. What are we doing here?
God forbid the fucking Chinese. Well, that's why they've banned TikTok, isn't it? Because of the malign Chinese influence. That's obviously coming from the center rather than the right. But
yeah, did you hear that? Ironically, like the most popular app in the App Store in the days leading up to the supposed ban was Xiaohongshu, or the Little Red Book, which is the Chinese version of TikTok.
That is fucking funny, but it's literally called the Little Red Book. Yeah. How much more fucking brazen can you be?
They're just going to keep playing whack-a-mole with all these apps. Like, I actually totally missed it, but Grindr had a similar situation where they had a Chinese owner who was forced to sell. That makes a little more sense in the Congress, the RNC, and all of these CPAC, Grindr boosts massively. They don't want the Chinese having their little infidelities. But they're going to just keep doing whack-a-mole instead of passing sensible legislation that just says, hey, maybe data shouldn't be like bought and sold and traded.
Yeah.
In general.
Yeah, man. Do you want to watch Keir Starmer's message of congratulations to Trump?
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Let the cocksucking commence.
Yeah.
Good and sloppy.
Oh, some serious dick being sucked here, man. It's like no dick sucking you've ever seen. Oh, yeah, share screen. Fucking Keir Starmer on X. There we go. Okay, let's hear what this piece of shit has to say.
On behalf of the United Kingdom, I said...
Yeah, that's uncanny.
I wasn't sure if that was like a separate thing, the words in the tweet or not, but
no, literally.
Let's hear it from the man himself.
Your impression sounded exactly like him. Look at him. He's when the push hits, or
like looks like he's about to sneeze or something.
When you nut, but she keeps sucking.
On behalf of His Majesty's government and the United Kingdom, I would like to send my warmest congratulations to President Trump on his inauguration as the 47th President of the United States.
Oh, the 47th, like doing this like emphasis thing that just make him sound so fucking happy that Trump is the 47th President of the United States.
For centuries, the relationship between our two nations has been one of collaboration, cooperation, and enduring partnership.
Yeah, for century. How many centuries are we talking? Like
1.5?
Yeah, for a century. Like literally, it's not even two. And before that, America had a war to fucking kick us out.
2 wars.
No, you sadly missed the Year of the Dragon episode, but he's talking about the British-American special relationship, the way that Mickey Rourke's insanely racist character in that talks about the Chinese invented the concept of the mafia over 1,000 years ago. For 1,000 years, Britain and America have been fucking bosom buddies on the world stage for centuries.
Ever since Jesus founded our countries.
Yeah, ever since the American
It
British
is a uniquely
Jesus,
close
China.
Together, we have defended the world from
I
tyranny
gave up on that joke.
and worked towards our mutual security and prosperity.
Mutual security and let's work towards the mutual security and prosperity of the state of
Donald
Israel.
Trump and Keir Starmer.
Yeah, of those two guys.
That's a good one too.
Yeah, but also of Israel, yeah. But also, yeah, feathering our own fucking nests. Like these two men who literally, Starmer is no different to Trump in that the end goal of his political project is for Keir Starmer to be the big dog. Yeah. Yeah, that's basically it. It's like, so I can feel like I'm the fucking big swinging dick.
With President Trump's long-standing affection and historical ties to the United Kingdom, I know that depth of friendship will continue.
The depth to which Donald Trump's penis is plunging down Keir Starmer's fucking throat
The United
in this
Kingdom
video.
and the United States will work together to ensure the success of both our countries and deliver for people on both sides of the Atlantic. Since our first meeting in September,
Fucking low energy.
the President and I have spoken about the need to deepen and invest in the transatlantic relationship. We will continue to build upon the unshakable
Imagine you're fucking
foundations
someone who isn't
of
your
our
wife.
historic
Get
alliance
that kind of energy
as we
going.
tackle together
Fucking
the
boring
global
cunt.
challenges we face and take our partnership to the next
level.
focused on shared opportunities ahead for growth.
To the next level, past the kissing stage, the flirting
I'm
stage.
ready for anal.
Yeah, exactly. Where can it go from here?
I look forward to our next meeting
I shudder to
as we
think.
continue our shared mission to ensure the peace, prosperity and security of our two great
Israel.
nations.
of, our
special
of our three great
between
nations.
the United Kingdom and the United States will continue to flourish for many years to come.
Yeah, for many more centuries. Big fucking 10 at the end. Is this like some new minimalist branding that like the UK Prime Minister is doing? Is this a Starmer innovation, or were we already doing that under fucking Sunak?
Mate, no, he just doxed himself.
I can't believe Keir Starmer posted his home address. I'm gonna fucking piss through his letterbox. I was thinking, just watching that earlier, like, it's just so funny to me how Keir Starmer clearly, when he joined the Labour Party in 2015, I think, no, actually, sorry, it would be like 2014, because he got selected as a candidate the year before the election, I think. But when he joined the Labour Party after leaving the post of Director of Public Prosecutions, he clearly fucking got elocution lessons to sound more like the common man. Just put him as, I'm Keir from down the road, down the old bull and bush, the bloody apples and pears. And then you hear him talk now, the minute he became Prime Minister, although he's still got the same unbearable nails on chalkboard fucking nasal quality, he now is like, I believe that Britain is America's defining partner, and all traces of like the Cockney have disappeared. There's none of the fucking alright me apples and pears down at the old fucking bull and bush anymore with Sir Keir. You could say, well, now he's changed his voice. Now he's trying to sound more posh so that, he makes sense as a British person to people like Donald Trump. However, I would refer you back to footage of when he was a lawyer, such as in the McLibel documentary, where he also speaks with a received pronunciation accent. And I think this is possibly the real Keir, in so much as such a thing exists. Well, I think few people who are as much of a husk, an empty vessel to be filled with.
The ego amalgamation entity known as Keir Starmer.
Yeah, very, very true. I think he's a sort of he's sort of like Bob in Twin Peaks. He's kind of like this primal entity who's been created. I mean, he's on the right wing of the Labour Party, so it's quite possibly he was literally created like the demonic entity Bob in the explosion of an atomic bomb. That would be a very Labour right kind of origin story.
Yeah.
So
the thing about the accents is funny, though. In the UK, there is a much stronger association between accent and class, isn't there? At least in the public imagination.
No, but you know who does that as well? Hillary Clinton. She does the same fucking thing, because when she's in, a fucking salt of the earth southern town or whatever, she'll kind of return to how I assume she spoke on the campaign trail when Bill Clinton was governor of Arkansas.
I think from the upper south,
I am Hillary Clinton, and I'm so proud to stand by my husband who never raped anybody. And then she'll go back to New York, and I can't really do a non-Southern American accent. I don't know. I can't do a normal Hillary Clinton accent, but it will just be like,
right.
We need to, we need to cover up another one of Bill's crimes or something. I don't know.
And there are class associations there.
I can't do a fucking accent. Sorry.
But it's also more. It's a very regional thing as well. And I feel like American politicians, by and large, like they'll do a bit of a Southern twang, but you also see it, and not even with politicians. Like you saw it with Elon Musk when he was trying to be one of the good old boys, and he would wear the fucking cowboy hat. That's what we do. We put on a costume as like we're going to pretend to be from somewhere southernish, and we're country folk, we have farm, and we're one with the land. That's our version of putting on received pronunciation, I think. Oh, the opposite, I guess, but yeah.
I just realised I stole that whole bit about Hillary from South Park episode where there's a nuclear bomb in her vagina, the opposite of Starmer's origin story. While he was brought into the world by the evil of atomic warfare, she was almost felled by the evil of atomic warfare in an episode of South Park. But yeah, she does the thing of like, I'm so happy to eat the hot dogs from a hot dog stand that powers the economy of small towns like this. And then, switching back to her normal upper class American, non-regionally specific voice.
You mentioning hot dogs reminded me of some vintage brain rot from the Obama era when he dared to eat a hot dog with Grey Poupon on it.
With what
the brand of mustard.
Oh God, I'm not a mustard guy.
It wasn't yellow mustard. It was French mustard. The brown kind of mustard.
Oh, not that kind of mustard. The mustard. Makes you surrender.
Now the whole GOP was like, it's un-American. Ketchup and yellow mustard.
That's why mustard's yellow, because it's like those yellow-bellied French bastards. Yeah.
Classic. By the way, I need to bring this to you. The Brits, they claim to hate France, yet you insert these words like aubergine and courgette.
Yeah. Don't ask me. Wasn't my call. I don't make these decisions. I just enforce them.
That is like the one Anglicism that I never do. Like I'll call it a garage every day of the week. I never say garage, never
Oh, right, yeah. I was like, is that what you call a fucking aubergine in America?
No.
A garage.
I'm like very 50-50 when it comes to anti versus anti. Like, I'll mix it up all the time. But aubergines, courgettes, nah, you'll never get me speaking that nonsense.
Do they have different words in America?
Yeah, an aubergine's an eggplant. And,
that's what an eggplant is.
A courgette's a zucchini.
Oh, zucchini. Well, that's just importing Italian culture. Come on. That's no better. They bring drugs, they bring crime. Actually, the Italian mafia were very against drugs for a long time, weren't they? But don't they decide...
Hey, we will have no anti-Italian hatred. We are pro-POC here, okay?
Yeah. But I think they thought that drugs were too closely associated with black people. But then, I may be totally making this up, but then at that mafia conference in Cuba, depicted in The Godfather, wasn't one of the main sort of political victories of that conference that the mafia agreed that drugs were a pretty big thing and they probably should get involved in the drug trade. Speaking of eggplant is used as a racial slur, I think, in True Romance. So, it's a Tarantino original. Well, do you recall, have you ever seen True Romance?
Yes, but it's been a while.
Do you remember the scene that everyone remembers, where Christopher Walken plays a gang boss? He's got Dennis Hopper's character, who's a retired cop, and he's the father of Christian Slater's protagonist. He's got him captive, and him and a bunch of other mobsters have got him surrounded in his trailer, basically. They're all pointing guns at him. And Dennis Hopper kind of knows that he's going to die, and he goes off on this big speech, which he delivers with some relish, about how Sicilians are the spawn of black people. Although it's a Tarantino script, so he does not use the phrase black people. It's a brilliant performance by Hopper and by Walken. It's an electric scene. I recently listened to a commentary that Tarantino did for True Romance, and he was like, oh yeah, this was just something that I spontaneously said, this whole monologue, to one of my friends one time. I'm like, yeah, and I bet you used all the same words that the character uses in the film. Yeah, it's a good scene. But anyway, at the end of that, Dennis Hopper says, you're part eggplant. And actually, in that commentary, Tarantino said that this was improvised by Dennis Hopper. So this is perhaps an archaic racial slur from before Tarantino's time that Dennis Hopper pulled from the annals of his own memory.
Oh God, yeah, I've never heard that used that way. I guess like, so you're saying it's like used for black people?
Yeah, I guess. I mean, it doesn't make any fucking sense to me. Isn't it like purple?
I guess they can be a very dark purple, but
yeah, I guess. Fuck knows, man. So it's something in that Ben Judah book. It's like with a black man with his aubergine head or something.
Oh God, the melon skull.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if he just goes through the lists of fruit and vegetables to.
I mean, God, wouldn't want to be the one with the courgette head.
The science of phrenology. I did actually rewatch Django Unchained recently. I mean, oh man, I haven't added every rewatch that I've done of late to Letterboxd, but I've watched both the Machete films, sort of circling back to Tarantino a little bit because they're directed by his close friend Robert Rodriguez, and the concept for the first Machete film comes from a trailer for a then non-existent film that appears in Grindhouse, the collaborative picture between Tarantino and Robert Rodriguez that contained Planet Terror from Rodriguez and Death Proof from Tarantino among these trailers for imaginary movies. I think Nicolas Cage is in one of those trailers, actually, as Fu Manchu. The cast is nuts in Machete. You have got Jeff Fahey, Michelle Rodriguez, obviously Danny Trejo is Machete. Danny Trejo has been in like small roles in so much stuff that it's great that he kind of finally got his star turn. And so getting that out of the way, Just an unqualified good that Danny Trejo got to be the top billed name on a movie. But then, yeah, just going through the cast, you've got Cheech Marin of And Chong fame, who plays Padre Benicio del Toro, who does not appear in this movie. Maybe he had scheduling conflicts, so Rodriguez is just like, oh, we'll name a character after you. He's the one he's Machete's brother, and he's become a priest. And when Machete's hiding out in his church, he's like, do you want a Cuban? And Machete's like, I'd rather have a Mexican. And Cheech is like, I've got some of those as well. And he pulls out a box of massive spliffs.
Nice.
Yeah, very nice, very cool. And you got Lindsay Lohan in the movie, the star of Paul Schrader's The Canyons, A Nun with a Gun. You've got Don Johnson, always brilliant, especially brilliant as racist characters, Don Johnson, in Dragged Across Concrete, and other pictures. Robert De Niro is in the film in his peak doing any old shit era. Robert De Niro shows
For
up.
real,
Yeah. Shea Wiggum, who's a great actor. Jessica Alba. Pardon me. James Parks plays the same Texas Ranger who he plays in From Dusk Till Dawn, Kill Bill, and Grindhouse. So, some pretty good stunt casting there, but the cherry on the cake for me is Steven Seagal as Rogelio Perez, a drug lord, as well as Machete's former partner with the Federales. And my favourite bit about this is, we've joked a lot on the show about how, like, Steven Seagal will do an action scene, like, sat in a chair. And he does the minimum possible physical exertion for any given role. And in this, rather than having a big climactic fight with Machete does stab him with a machete after a brief bit of jousting. And rather than fighting to the bitter end, Steven Seagal basically says, oh, well, I can't be asked fighting anymore because Machete will just come for me and kill me then. If I do survive, he'll kill me eventually. So he just kills himself by just turning around the machete in his stomach. And he does it in such a hilariously half-assed fucking non-committal way. Just like, well, if I've got to do any more exercise, then, right, I'm definitely committing suicide. This is the path of least resistance, you know?
Yeah.
Then Machete returned 3 years later for Machete Kills, which features an even better, by some definitions, by which I mean worse, cast, featuring legendary people such as Ambassador to Hollywood, Mel Gibson, as the main villain, Luther Voss. Mel Gibson, actually one of the only good things in this film. Like I say, I like his screen presence a lot more post-disgrace. You know, he's not even the most disgraced person in this film, by the way. Second Machete movie, very bad film, but it kind of catches a light when Mel Gibson appears. Just brief moments. He brings a bit of fucking star wattage to the whole thing. Michelle Rodriguez is in it again. Sofia Vergara turns up. Vanessa Hudgens turns up. Mendes considers her his Sarissa, his virgin. I don't know who Mendes is, so that doesn't mean much to me. Amber Heard is in the most disgraced person in this. Amber Heard. No, I'm just joking. Who gives? You know, I didn't follow the fucking trial, but you know, people who strongly supported Johnny Depp in that trial, like, want you to believe that, like, he doesn't have problems with drugs and alcohol. Like, they want you to go way too far in believing Johnny Depp's side of the story, to the point that I don't believe Johnny Depp's side of the story at all. So, yeah.
I can honestly say I paid absolutely zero attention to that whole thing.
No, cast Amber Heard in all the films for all I fucking care, you know. You got Demian Bichir, again, Mexican Bob from A Hateful Eight. Then you have one, Carlos Estevez. Have you heard of Carlos Estevez?
I've heard the name.
That would be because he is Charlie Sheen, using his birth name. Charlie Sheen, who his ex-wife said in court documents in the course of their divorce that he would regularly watch child pornography in their home, and she would come in and say, please don't do this, you're destroying our family. And he would say, fuck you. He would just like say, fuck you, bitch. And just like, because she's telling him not to watch child porn.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Charlie Sheen plays the president, President Rathcock, possibly only the second worst person in the film, because guess what? Elon Musk is in it as well.
What?
At the end of the fucking film, yeah, Machete goes into space, and Elon Musk just shows up in that one scene to give him a fucking thumbs up and say, "You go, Machete." I was praying you were at least
going to say he was going to kill him.
No, I wish it would be, maybe somewhat redeemable if he killed Elon Musk. But no, he doesn't. It's just literally Elon, the cool science guy, showing up to say, whoa, space travel, cool. It's not, it's evil. spelled doom for humanity, as Bob Dylan warned us in the song License to Kill. And then you've got a character called El Chameleon, who, as the name would suggest, basically just assumes the faces of different actors in each scene. You got Walton Goggins. So this means that Walton Goggins is in the film for one fucking incredibly brief scene, which is a fucking travesty. Then he turns into Cuba Gooding Jr., then he turns into Lady Gaga, then he turns into Antonio Banderas as his final identity. And look, that's a lot of infamous in some cases, people who I have mentioned as appearing in this film.
Some of whom should immediately commit suicide.
Yes, one in particular of whom should immediately, possibly using a machete, should possibly shoot himself into space without a fucking oxygen mask. And I'm not talking about Mel Gibson. That's for fucking sure. Oh, apparently the character who Mel Gibson plays is based on Elon Musk. I'm going to say what you will about Mel Gibson. His character has so much more fucking riz than that piece of shit.
Not a hard thing to do, but yeah, I'm sure.
No, absolutely right, yeah. But no, this great cast suggests that the secret to a good movie is not just casting as many famous people as possible for 30 seconds at a time. like I say, Mel Gibson appears in multiple scenes, so he can actually turn his character into a character, whereas Walton Goggins, one of the greatest actors in the fucking world, does not have that opportunity, nor does Elon Musk, for that matter.
Yeah.
But I feel like Elon Musk could not have made as much of his part as Elon Musk as Walton Goggins can make out of pretty much any part.
Yeah, that goes without saying, really.
Yeah. Well, man, we've probably gone on for a while. So, would you like to wrap it up?
Probably a good idea. Yeah. I should go check on Aries and get on with the day. But it's been a really good session. Yeah,
man, it's been
fun. Couple hours here. Got some politics, got some film chat.
Yeah, I'm glad we got politics and movies down, because I wasn't sure about talking about politics, but there just was a lot to talk about. There is just shit going on in the world at the moment, which is hard to escape from, even if you're just escaping into a world of movies like me. All right, cool.
Excellent.
Well, thanks everyone who listened to this, and thank you, Yair, for stimulating discussion, as always.
I'll always stimulate you, Jack.
Sexually stimulating my penis.
But not as much as Keir Starmer was doing tricks on it.
Oh, big time for dick sucking master Keir Starmer. For what's it they called Nancy Reagan?
The throat goat.
Throat goat, yeah, that's it. Well, I was like the Scream Queen. No, that's like that's like stars of horror movies, isn't it?
Yeah, I think.
that doesn't apply.
Right.
How are you gonna scream with a fucking penis on for it.
Trump's the one screaming.
Yeah, I should stop myself before I go any further.
All right, it's been good, man.
All right.
Until Wednesday, then.
Yeah, until next time, man. Peace.